Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been liking and sharing and retweeting and all that jazz with my videos and such. It's really helping my channel grow and I am very grateful, so thank you. Anyway, as a few of you may know, I've been kind of playing GT7 quite a lot, and I've been wanting to find other racing games and such to be playing, as well as because you get slightly bored of one thing and you want to play some other stuff. You might have seen the Slipstream video that I did, but that's pretty cool, that one. That was like an outrun type game. And this is really cool as well. This is another one I've stumbled across. It's called Agent Intercept. Now, what's funny with this is it's actually been out on iOS via iPhone, Apple TV and iPad, etc. for some time already. So it's on Apple Arcade and you can play obviously with a controller on your Apple TV or even your iPad or Mac or whatever. And it's been ported over to consoles recently, so it's on Xbox, PlayStation and the Switch. And pretty much the game feels like a modern reincarnation with slightly more stuff thrown in, with awesome cel-shaded style graphics of basically what is a Spy Hunter type game, which, if you remember Spy Hunter from the PS2, there was even one on the PSP as well, and there was a PS Vita game called Spy Hunter which was the same type of thing as well, if you might have played that. But this is basically what this is. However, they do throw in some different things, right? So, as opposed to just being able to turn your car into a boat, you can turn your car into a snowmobile, or a plane, or a jet, or a boat. So there's like 5 different types of things your vehicle can morph into, which is pretty cool. Now, the main game is split across 3 chapters, and each of those said 5 chapters have 5 levels. Each of those said 5 levels have 5 different challenges of each of the levels to collect the intel to be able to complete the game. So each area you've got 25 pieces of intel, or each chapter, sorry, it's got 25 pieces of intel for you to collect via doing challenges like boosts or drifting or collecting points and yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. Now, there is a story to the game, but it's very, I won't say lacking, but it's not absolutely groundbreaking in storytelling. But there is a mildly funny story. It makes it feel like it's like a fake Miami Vice type of theme to itself, which is quite funny. Or like maybe old school Magnum PI or something. It's quite cool in that realm. But it does give you definitely that Spy Hunter style atmosphere. Now, another thing to mention is there's side stories mode, which is basically it's almost another 3 chapters, but they're not really to do with the main storyline. They're new missions and new chapters of their own right, and each one of those has 4 parts and their own things to collect from within them as well. Now, as the game progresses, it's basically just more of the same. Now, I'd say the first 2 or 3 levels are pretty straightforward. As you progress into the later of chapter 1 and into chapter 2 and 3, it can get a little bit tougher, but there's nothing too strenuous per se for you to feel like it's that challenging. I would have liked to have hoped as you were getting to the later levels it became a little bit harder, but it kind of doesn't. It kind of goes up slightly on the difficulty level and then just stay there. Some of the levels' lengths are a little bit short, and then you get some of them and it's like, well, this one's really long. Why is this one so much longer than the others? And that kind of a little bit, it puts the pace off slightly, because you think to yourself, well, that level was over quick, and then you're doing another one that's really, really long. which is a bit strange. But you can tell those levels are the longer ones because they've got higher points scores for you to try and achieve, or more of the claw little band things for you to knock over. So you can tell when there's a longer level than the other ones, if that makes sense. Now, generally, I think this game is actually very good. It's a lot of fun, the music is spot on, the controls and gameplay is absolutely perfectly tight. If you hadn't told me this was a mobile game before me looking into the fact of that, I wouldn't have known. Like, I didn't actually know until I looked into it more for speaking of my review here. I actually did just think it was an indie game that was on the consoles, but it's not. It's basically a mobile game that's been ported over to consoles, which, you know, is probably something that might happen quite a bit, maybe, I don't know, because some mobile games just struggle to get a lease of life, so to speak, and maybe it's found a new revenue stream or a new lease for itself on a console, and it's probably going to be more welcome here than it might have been on iOS. But the game is a lot of fun. It's very addictive. It's a lot of fun. The animations are smooth. The gameplay is really good. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that slightly feels a little bit is maybe I think there could be more content. I think there could be more levels. They could have done more. Even with all the side missions and everything, you're probably missing a third, maybe, or even a half a game of the amount of levels you could have done. In 3 chapters feels quite short. Let's just say that. And the difficulty curve is not that big. I mean, there's no difficulty settings. You can't put it on easy or hard, or medium or whatever, or extreme. It's just as it is, and it didn't seem that difficult after the first few missions. Like, everything just was about the same difficulty. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be ridiculously hard, because I don't want it to be, but then you'd expect it to elevate the difficulty slightly, to some extent maybe. Now, on a note of that, looking over the trophies for the game, pretty much it's quite self-explanatory. Do a certain amount of combos, do a certain amount of these things, collect all the intel, do this in time attack mode, do this in complete all the side missions, and all of the intel from those side missions, and a couple of other bits, like there's a couple of trophies tied to do X within blah, without whatever, and pretty much all of the trophies are quite easy to obtain. It has a platinum yield of 2.8% for the PlayStation 4 version, so it is quite high on the platinum yield. So it's pretty much, I won't say it's a really easy platinum, but it's definitely an obtainable platinum, especially if you're enjoying the game and are just going to try and complete it to 100% anyway. You're going to get it, basically. And there you go. I mean, like I say, the music's really good, the gameplay just plays really well, and it's a lot of fun. Now, with all that said, I do hope they do manage to make a sequel, maybe, because I really liked the Spy Hunter games on the PlayStation 2, and there was another one on the PSP that I liked called Pursuit Force, which was very similar but slightly different in the fact that you had more weapons and more different things in your arsenal for your car, and your car didn't really morph into other things, like it didn't transform into a boat. It just had loads of weapons, and as you picked things up, you could track people, well, funnily enough, pursuit people down, and you could jump from car to car, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed Pursuit Force. It was one of them PSP games which I think a lot of people probably just slept on, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it. And this does give me some vibes of that as well. Apart from that, like, the game, I think they could do really cool stuff with a sequel. Maybe making some of the levels a bit longer, some different weaponry, maybe different vehicles, different, maybe more than 3 chapters, because the variety of level design was very lacking. It's basically 3 different types, and that's it, because there's 3 different chapters and it changes with the theme. So I do think they could do a lot more with the sequel, so I do hope for that. Anyway, if you do want to know any more, just let me know down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you, and thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much. Goodbye.